Welcome to the dump. We are here finally. It's been a hot minute. We have been working on this for 2 weeks now, pretty much since we saw the Lorenzen signing. We've been doing it. But Tyler, what do you think about Rob Manfred's idea of doing a split season and making baseball fun again?
Wait, is the idea like a mid-season tournament, that type of
That
thing?
was thrown out there, but he is also threw out the idea of a split season, so first half, second half.
I like in winter the first half makes the playoffs. Is
I
that the
think so.
idea?
I think it sounds very minor league-esque, like how they do the minors.
Yeah, so I don't like that. I mean, it'd make things more like fun, but I just baseball is so fun as it stands. I love the grind of it. You don't get to play 80 games and make the playoffs, so you got to play 162. We've seen so many teams have really good 80 game stretches. Like we've seen
Yep.
teams go like 50 and 30, and then they go 30 and 50. Like that's such a possible outcome. So I Rob Manfred needs to not tinker. Do things
I
that make sense. Don't like reshape everything.
Yeah, it feels very Golden Bat rule-esque. It's just like, hey, we threw this idea out there and we're just seeing what happens. It makes sense in the minors because
Yeah.
players are leaving. It's less intense, so to speak, less on the line. So why not have a little fun with that and give players two reasons to fight throughout the season? But we're not here for that. We are here to dump about the Colorado Rockies signings. They are exciting again. I think last time we talked, we were bored. We didn't do anything fun. It was terrible. And now they've added Michael Lorenzen. They've added Willi Castro. They added Keegan Thompson. They traded, who was the cat? Josh Gross for Jake McCarthy. So Nolan Arenado is a Diamondback. Okay, that was really what I wanted to open with. We'll dad it up with that. Do you give about Nolan Arenado being traded? Is it a breath of fresh air that the Rockies didn't mess it up and the Cardinals did also? Like,
I mean, I do think it's
we
a nice
care.
full circle moment that everyone brought up like, oh, the Rockies and their 50 million, and the Cardinals had to give up, what was it? It was like 30
31.
out of the 40 million that's due to Arenado, and they got like a really fringy prospect back. That's what 30 million and Nolan Arenado got them, was a fringy prospect. So like the Rockies didn't do a good job with that trade at the time, but the 50 million that was part of it, like that made sense. And I don't think people were willing to ever grasp that's how trades happen all the time.
Yep.
And so Nolan Arenado being part of another big blocky cash incentivized trade, like it brings me some like solaces. I know you remember, like we weren't like fighting the fight, but we were like, hey, the Rockies didn't get screwed in the Arenado trade back in the day. I
No.
believe that. And I now believe that even more today. I mean, they screwed themselves. They did not get screwed. I'll say that.
Yes, it was a whole debacle all the way through, but it was kind of nice seeing. It's more of a Cardinals thing for me than a Nolan Arenado thing for me.
That too.
Skip the Cardinals; they can shove off. The fans are the worst. They are privileged. They think they know what they're talking about all the time, but you aren't any better than us. Literally, you aren't any better than us at all. I mean, yeah, wildly innocent here. Thank you for the data, dog. After trades involving Sonny Gray, Wilson Contreras, and Nolan Arenado, the Cardinals are paying a combined $59 million for them not to play for them. So, storied franchise, the St. Louis Cardinals are paying $60 million for three All-Stars, former All-Stars, to play somewhere else. And the Colorado Rockies have Willi Castro. Willi Castro, he was the talk of the town a month ago. It was all over the place. I mean, we had it. I posted the link in the YouTube chat. It's out there. Actually, I don't know if the link actually posted. Let's see. We'll do that now. See if that works. But it was, I don't know. It was a debate. It was, I think we all kind of agreed that we wouldn't be mad about it, but we're not excited about it. And now that it's official, I'm not excited about it. Don't think I'm mad about it. I think I'm landing exactly where I'm supposed to land on this for, what was it, 2 years for, let's say 18.
Like 12. I think it's
12.
I think it's 12. I think I saw a little more than 12.
Okay, 12 was going to be my next guess. Let's go with 12. So 12 for over 2 years. Not a terrible contract. I'm whatever on this. We can get into the data a little bit. Maybe pull out a stat or two that kind of says, hey, it's not going to be terrible for Willi Castro and at Coors. But what is your overall take there?
when that rumor dropped like a month and a half ago, whenever it was, I was like, that's not the start that I want to see to this new regime is going after Willi Castro's, because we've seen a lot of guys like this come to Coors Field. You think of Harold Castro even. I don't think that Willi Castro's a ton better than Harold Castro was. I think there is a very serviceable baseball player here. He's definitely an above replacement level guy, but I think
Yep.
his best years were 2022, 2023, and he's had two kind of down years at this point. Like, he's still, again, a capable guy, but especially after the 2025 season, I don't know what tool you're getting here that you can rely on to give you impact. You get a collection of okay things that might give you enough production to justify him being a almost everyday guy, but it's a lot of whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot of whatever, and you have absolutely no idea. Like, so 2023 with the Twins, probably his breakout season, was good. He had 33 stolen bases and 409 plate appearances. Next year with the Twins, and about the third more plate appearances, 635, he had 14 stolen bases. So that speed that everybody was kind of ranting and raving about, I don't think that is no longer there. He had 10 last year and 450 plate appearances. So he went from 33 stolen bases to 10 over 2 years. So the speed element, the athletic ability that I think was some of the arguments that Isaac was making a month ago, I don't think that's very liable. I do love the barrel rate. The barrel rate is solid all the way through a career, 5.9, but last year was 6.2. It's been hovering over 6.8 the last 2 years. So even in a down year, he's still hitting the ball hard, which is good, especially at Coors. You can do something with that. K rate's 24%, 25%, which is fine. Walks at an 8% clip, which is good. So, like, there's some of those peripherals that are fine. He has the utility piece that we all like, but you also have that in Tyler Freeman. Where does he play? Does Willi Castro slot in at first base? Because I think that was our argument at one point. It's like, hey, he's kind of the first baseman. Maybe he's the second baseman. Don't know. I don't know if I'm mad if he's playing first. I think is what it comes down to for me.
I will say he has played, what is it? There's 8 positions in the field. There's 9 including the pitcher, but let's say 8. He has played 6 of them. He has not played first base. He has not played catcher, of course.
Never played first, really.
So I'm a little surprised. Yeah, no, as far as I can see, 0 appearances at first base. So, and I really think he is still a speedy, rangier type of player. I think you want him at second, maybe at third. I think he's an infielder at heart. He's gotten a lot of run in the outfield. I don't think that's ever really been that was to create that versatility, because when you have players like him that aren't amazing, you want the versatility so that you can play them a little bit more, not pigeonhole them. I think the Rockies should be deploying him primarily second base, third base. I think he's capable at shortstop if you really need that, extra couple of innings there. But really, this seems like a move to, I wouldn't say block, but to create more competition between Ryan Ritter, Kyle Karros, Adel Amador, because Castro can do a little bit of everything on the defensive side, at least in the infield. So that's sort of where I see him playing. Maybe some outfield though too, but it has not been pretty out there.
No, it hasn't. And I mean the infield, like, who's the backup shortstop? It's Ritter, right? So you can't really slot Ritter in as the starting second baseman because you probably need him somewhere around the diamond. Karros hasn't quite solidified third baseman. He's the best option right now, and I still think he's going to be good. I'm on that tree, so to speak. But Willi adds this piece of depth that we should appreciate a little bit more. A veteran piece of depth that's not terrible. And that was the other thing I was thinking about this morning. I'm all over the place. My day's been crazy, so this is where my brain is. Lean into it, y'all. It's the fact that the Rockies signed Willi Castro, proven vet, right? And like all-star caliber player. Michael Lorenzen pitched a no-hitter, has all-star capabilities. People know who he is. Like, these signings feel great compared to the Chad Cools, no offense to the Chad at all, to Harold Castro. Like, these actually feel like solid signings that make sense beyond just the paper, where we can actually put the puzzle pieces together where Willi Castro can fit in and what is actually being thought of by the front office. And I think that makes me a little bit happier that I can trust the front office, but also maybe get on board with a Willi Castro playing second baseman.
Yeah, I mean, and ultimately, it is about getting better where you can, and I think that echoes what you were saying. You haven't added star power, but you've added guys who are better than all but 6 to 8 guys. I'd not say 6, 7, 6 to 8 guys who suited up for the Rockies last year. I think Castro's better than most of those. I think Michael Lorenzen's better than most of those. Jake McCarthy's better than most of those. So you're improving that middle of the roster, and that's important. So we've spent our time ragging a little on Willi Castro. It's important to remind, he's a quality player. The Chicago Cubs traded for him at the trade deadline. He was one of their bigger trade deadline acquisitions. The guy can play. He is athletic still. The stolen bases, it'd be nice to get him back to 20. I don't know that that's going to happen, but you've added quality pieces. We haven't seen the Rockies do that in quite some time.
No, exactly. And there's a question in the chat: is he better than Thairo? Thairo Estrada had a 15% strikeout rate compared to a 3.6 walk rate with the Colorado Rockies. Is a career 20%, 4%. Willi Castro is a 25, 8%. Barrel rate for Willi Castro sits at a 6% career. Thairo Estrada's as a 4.5. So I think Willi, just on kind of those numbers, I like those K walk barrel percentages. I think that's the fantasy in me. But I think that shows a little bit more of a all-around player. It brings a little bit more to the table offensively in a Willi Castro than a Thairo Estrada plays. And Thairo Estrada was only playing second base. He probably played third and first last year. Don't even remember. So, and I don't know if I agree with this, Mikey Westside. I don't know. Warming greater than Willi. As much as we just dogged on Willi is proven it over a few more seasons than Warming. This is not to dog on Warming. I think he does have a skill set that could be unlocked by certain professional teams. I'm just kind of glad it's not with the Colorado Rockies. I root for that man. I will always root for that man, but I don't know if we can sit here and say Warming's better than Willi. And I just don't know if that's true. I don't know. Anthony Lorenzen. I wonder what that's about. What's up, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Let's go Rocks. Jumping on, Anthony. Welcome, part of the fam. Glad you're here. Luke Warlick, thank you for hanging out again. Always here. Thank you. Second base, he probably pushes Ritter down a spot. I can't shake the idea of Freeman at third. He has a 45 MLB games played at third base and 92 percentile arm. Not a bad data dump piece that somebody can write. Hopefully you're listening, Isaac. Get that crew on it. I don't know what Tyler Freeman is. Again, in the Willi Castro write-up on Blake Street Banter, he is a bell curve. His offensive is a bell curve. His defense is atrocious in the outfield, but he is utility. He can manage it. Does he play third base very well? I can't say I've looked at it. I like the idea of Tyler Freeman, but I don't know if the idea of Tyler Freeman is good. So we'll see. We'll see what Tyler Freeman is going forward. And anything else on Willi? I think I'm done with the Willi.
That's a soundbite for somebody to create right there. But I think the biggest point to echo is again, Rocky's improving that middle of the roster. He's probably an ideal 7 or 8 hitter. We'll have to. That's a fun exercise to start now. You've added 2 bats. We'll talk about Jake McCarthy. I almost wanted to call him JJ McCarthy. Let's hope we get a better player than JJ McCarthy and Jake McCarthy. I don't know that McCarthy is a starter for the Rockies, but you may have added new guys at the bottom of the Rockies lineup that just when was the last time the Rockies had decent 7, 8, 9 hitters? Dude. That's another project for someone who's writing something up. Yeah. When did the Rockies last have a decent bottom of the order that wasn't like a -6 WAR combined? I'd love to know.
Keep talking. I gotta send it.
Okay. This helps you avoid having a situation like that. And kind of I think the Thairo Estrada point was really good to bring up. Willi, a little bit more of a polished hitter all around. Thairo Estrada used to kind of get by as a big league regular because I think the hands were really quick, made a ton of contact. Before guys really figure out how to pitch to that, it can work. I think Willi Castro has that extra level of polish where he's not going to be suddenly what Thairo Estrada has been the last 2 years. Right. Castro gives you a little bit of a higher baseline, not more raw power, but as you brought up, the barrel percentage it's there for Castro. That's almost one of the abilities that you see year in, year out with him. Like he's turning below average power into 10, 15 homers. The Rockies could use more double-digit home run guys, especially out of a spot that you're not really supposed to get a ton of power.
Yeah, I think there's going to be something unlocked. And as somebody else pointed out on the Twitter, a 2-year contract is very tradable at a deadline. So if Willi Castro goes off, we can get rid of our Willie if we need to. Who's going to be the DH next year? Felix Contreras, 4603. Anybody. As long as it's not Mickey Moniak against a right-hand pitcher. Just playing Mickey. I know you're going to come out just slugging against the righties. But I think you have a lineup right now that it's whoever needs a break, we're going to slide in, however, whatever. I think Braxton Fulford would be a fine DH every once in a while because he does have some pop in that bat. Like you have, it just depends on where you're at. I think it's going to be a catch-all, end-all. Okay, fun little question. We'll get into Jake McCarthy next. I want to get in there just so Lorenzen, our new friend, gets to hang out a little bit longer until we actually get to family there. Who gets the most at-bats at DH this year?
Ooh, it gets really tough because we already have mentioned trade possibilities. Because I would say Mickey Moniak, but I think a trade is possible there. That changes the formula a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit bold because I know this guy, assuming there's no injury, is going to be around a lot and DH twice a week. Hunter Goodman.
Yeah. That's kind of where I was leaning to. I just don't know if there's a consistent, and you want the 97th player in the Major League Baseball. I think that's what he was in the top 100. You want that bat in the lineup as much as possible. Silver Slugger, take that, Dodger Nation. Suck it, Goodman. Let's go. So I think it's going to Goodman as well. Yeah, and Noah Spire just leaning into it. Welcome back, fam. Glad you're here. 99th percentile sprint speed. Say it 5 times fast on your own. 99th percentile sprint speed. Jake McCarthy is a Colorado Rocky. I think Josh Gross was a high A pitcher. He came over from the Yankees trade was that the McMahon trade?
Yeah, he was the second guy in the McMahon trade.
So Herring and Gross came over. Didn't make it to Double-A last year for the Rockies. Had a ceiling of a number 4 starting long reliever going into it, and we just added a solid outfielder, major league caliber outfielder who can run fast as fuck, boy. So we have Jake McCarthy. What does he bring? I think the biggest question that I first initially had is, what are we doing adding more outfielders? Granted, we gave up a low end starting rotation pitching for that. I'm fine with that. But we have been talking about the outfield is stacked. There's competition all over. But I don't understand why, Tyler, that we're adding more outfielders when we already have 7 options ready to go.
You know, I do agree. I thought we heard about Michael Lorenzen getting signed. That wasn't made official until today. Yeah, it was today. That put the 40-man at 41. So that's part of the reason that they didn't originally make that signing official off the bat. Obviously, there's probably a little bit more to it than that. But that took a week to become official. There was an extra guy just sitting on the roster who was eventually going to go. I thought there was going to be an outfield trade to create that extra spot. Mickey Moniak, Tyler Freeman, former prospect Yankiel Fernandez, Zach Veen. Everyone's kind of talked about Brenton Doyle a little bit. I just thought there was going to be a real small trade for an outfielder for one of our outfielders.
Yeah.
And then it turned into Bradley Blaylock. So now we have like 9 outfielders, maybe 10 guys on the roster who can play the outfield. You added Willi Castro today. He can play the outfield. So you keep adding out there. At some point, there's got to be a subtraction. But I'll turn this over to you. Because, do you really think that it is a logjam? At the MLB level, not just, top to bottom, a lot of options. Do you think it's a logjam at the big league level?
No, I don't. I think they just solidified their top 4 guys plus Freeman as the outfielder. And as a Veen fan, who I still think Zach Veen has the potential, if he just was able to get 80 games under his belt in a row, I think he could be a star. I think it's I think this just tracks exactly what Depot and crew have been talking about. We are going to create competition. You're going to have to go out and prove it. Veen, you're a top 5 prospect in our system. You have been for a while, but you haven't done anything. Sorry, dog. You better go out there and ball out. And let's see what that does to Zach Veen in his competition. Hey, Zach Veen, we just added Sterling Thompson to our 40-man. You ready to go compete with him? Go do it. And so it's nothing is given, which I think is building that culture that I've been on the podium standing about. So I don't think there is a competition. However, if Jake McCarthy sucks spring training and there just doesn't seem to be a path for him, like he just can't hit worth the lick. Sprint speed's great, but hey, we have Zach Veen and Cole Carrick who can do the same exact thing defensively. Like, let's roll with this. Zach Veen can't, but Cole Carrick could. Like, let's roll with that. And you can cut Jake McCarthy because there is absolutely no ties to that. Like, you gave up a high A arm. Like, who cares? Like, we can cut that. I think this is just opening up like for a ruthless season where like, all right, if you can't cut it, we are going to cut you. And there's going to be a reason for it, as opposed to last year. Hey, we're going to cut you. We know nobody's going to pick you up and we're just going to put you back on the AAA roster. I think this adds a little bit more depth to that, where I don't think there is a competition, so to speak, but I think there is a wake-up call for those guys below, which I think is good.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the theme now for us, like also just a shrewd way of adding depth. Like, for whatever reason, I mean, we banged the table for a long time for the Rockies to like give like young guys opportunities. They kind of were half in, half out on that. There was a new veteran.
Never felt the same.
There was a Jake Cave. There was who was it? Nick Martini last year. Like, there was always one of those guys in the mix. And so it was never a full buy-in. And the way they kept addressing the outfield was, Jake Cave, Nick Martini. Instead, this year we've got Jake McCarthy and Willi Castro. They do a lot of different things as ball players. So
yeah,
you've improved the depth, and then also, and chat's kind of going off on this.
I know,
like Noah's the guy for this. Noah's the guy to say this. He listened to Paul DePodesta today. I mean, this is the that's the outfield, and Tyler Freeman probably plays a majority of his games away from the outfield, DH and infield. So it's kind of a real 4-man group with other guys who can fit in. So I don't think, to your point, that there's a logjam.
And I wonder what they're going to do with those top prospects that are in the outfield, like Sterling, Veen, Yankiel. Like, what are they going to do with that AAA level to get them ready? So when the deadline comes up and Moniak's raking, he's gone. Willi Castro's raking, he's gone. Like, what do we do? Another Noah Spire quote from his chance to be at the presser today. I think he really fits the identity of what it is we're trying to create on our team. The value of those very particular skills that we think give us more of a home field advantage. And if that hasn't been a talking point by us this offseason, we're sorry that you didn't catch on to that. But like, owning the home field Coors advantage is where they should start building. I think that's what we talked about on our last spot. Like, you need to go out and win at least 40, 50 games at home. Like, this is where you're going to make your bread and butter, at least, or whatever percentage we should throw out there. 40 is a lot for this team, but you have the speed with these the biggest by 2,000 square feet now that Kauffman Stadium's put in their fence in. Go take advantage of it. And Jake McCarthy was 99th percentile speed. Like, how fast is this mug? Like, how fast is he? I know you put it in the rundown.
Like 30 feet per second, which, I mean, there's like maybe
on the line. That's insane.
One dude per year who reaches the big leagues who has that type of sprint speed, and they're probably up there to steal bases and pinch run in late innings. Like, most of those guys, I listen to the rundown. The 2 guys in Major League Baseball who have been regulars since 2021 with that kind of sprint speed, Bobby Witt, Trey Turner, Jake McCarthy is basically the third. Like, he's a guy who's been a regular for multiple years. There's no other. So you are looking at 2 guys who are elite baseball players, future Hall of Famers, and then Jake McCarthy. That is it. That is a 3-man club. That's insane. Like, 30 feet per second is the prime Byron Buxton, a little bit shy of Billy Hamilton back in the day type of speed. I'm sure Chandler Simpson is going to join that club as well, but he only played like 2/3 of a season. Yeah. Dude is fast AF, boy, as you said.
And like, I love the Chandler Simpson type. He's electric to watch. He's terrible defensively. We don't need to watch him play defense, but him on the base path and just being in the bat, And we were talking about this off air, and we can bring it back up, and you can bring the bat length to it. Like we thought, oh, Jake McCarthy's speed, maybe a short swing, we can just make contact and run around the bases like Chandler Sisson does. And it didn't quite turn out that way. But what is the bat speed or bat length? What swing length? There we are. And does he have the ability to make enough contact to be a viable option for Coors home field advantage and then on the road?
Yeah, so a couple of very good questions and points that are made there. And I think it's important to identify and understand not JJ. I said that at the top. Jake
9.
McCarthy.
Let's go. Dude, if Jake McCarthy wears number 9 for the Rockies, it is a season.
That would be, oh my, we can't. Like JJ McCarthy will be visiting Coors Field at some point this season, and they'll be doing a photo op on the field. I actually would be so here for that. But our version of 9, Jake McCarthy, very slow swing, very short swing. Like he is going up there. He's kind of in that zone of like a Luis Ariz, like not quite as slow, not quite as short, but Jake is about a short swing to the ball. And he makes a lot of contact because of that. His overall contact rate since 2024 is 82.5. That's if he does that again this year, that's an easy top 40, top 45 mark in baseball. I mean, you take that. The Rockies have not had guys like that. And then in zone, he's even better. He's like mid 90% for in zone contact. 15% K rate, maybe ticks up a little bit, but like he's not going to hit for power. He manages though to elevate the baseball pretty well. That's allowed him to hit 8 home runs in 2024. I think you can count on 5 to 10 home runs pretty consistently. If you're doing that as a really high contact bat, like no one's mad. Nobody is mad you hitting 8 home runs. I think we need 9 home runs out of him now, but no one's mad if he hits 8, 9, 10 home runs with a 15% K rate and like elite speed.
Yeah. I mean, 2024 season, because he was hurt last year. He was kind of off the radar, but he had 99 singles with 25 stolen bases. So, I mean, there's 25 doubles right there, assuming first and second, right? And then he had 13 doubles on top of that, 7 triples, which is Colorado Rockies, Coors Field galore. Like that's a nice season. And he's been averaging 5. He had 5 triples last year in a shortened season, 7 doubles. So there is some of that stuff that goes in there. Just to kind of put it in perspective to our Willi Castro conversation, his barrel percentages are at a 3.3 career rate compared to Willi's 7%. League average is an 8. So he's not hitting the ball hard when he is hitting it, using that speed. He is not making solid contact very often, 4% all the time on that stuff. And his exit velocity is on the lower side as well, 82.8 miles per hour compared to the 90 league average. So he's not hitting the ball hard, which we've seen in the past not be the best thing, but that also hasn't been a guy with crazy 99th percentile speed. So if we're just making contact and just using that the best we can with the mass Coors Field thing, I think I like what Depot and crew did and leaning into, hey, how do we take advantage of Coors Field? I think Jake McCarthy is the prime example of how you take advantage of Coors Field. Like just imagine a 1-run ball game in the 8th, and you have Jake McCarthy coming up in the 8th spot. Like I think you feel comfortable right now without any data, without any data sets to kind of do the experiment with. I think you feel good about that. Like he's going to make contact. We're going to see what happens. We're not going to strike out on 4 pitches. It's going to be okay. I think we're okay with that.
Yeah. And just one more point on that. Like, exit velocity is low. It was 84.5 in 2024. That's first percentile. But the expected batting average 265 shows like the type of contact he's actually making. Like he's hitting line drives, but also, this dude is fast and he puts a weak ground ball, to third base, to shortstop, kind of slaps it. He's reaching on that, 15% of the time. Like that's a crazy on base percentage for a weakly hit ground ball. So you want that, and that number might not be right, but that's what I would estimate it to be. He's a guy who's going to maximize. I mean, I think he could hit the ball harder if he tried. He was quoted in a Thomas Harding article, like kind of him talking about like what went wrong last year. And he said, he was trying to improve the things that he wasn't great at in 2024 and neglected some of the things that he was great at. And I it sounds like he tried to, and we can see it in the bat speed. He swung a little bit harder, tried to get more power out there, and it just wasn't working. There's a lot that went into his 2025 season, but yeah, he is going to embrace what he's good at. That's why the Rockies traded for him. They're going to tell him to do it. Is, hey, dude, go put the ball and play a ton. Keep your strikeout rate like to 16%. If you put the ball in play, for the most part, the other 84% of the time, like great things are going to happen.
Yeah, and the fact that they're just trying it is refreshing. As our guy Noah said, yeah, franchise signing big leaguers in January feels nice. Yes, it does. This is insane. Not Jerickson Profar during spring training and showing up a week late for the season. But that's a different time, right? Yeah, and then just the ability to be a backup for Brenton Doyle, like where you're not losing a step in center field, is even better. Beck could handle it, but we all feel more comfortable if McCarthy is back there. Yeah, his kind of speed makes defenses and pitchers make errors. Yeah, you're going to rush it, and good luck, Nolan Arenado, throwing him out because you won't be able to. Boom. Jake McCarthy, we like it. Expectations, fourth outfielder type. I think about 300 plate appearances. I would be comfortable with like a 90 OPS plus going with it. Give me about double-digit doubles. Give me 4 home runs and 30 stolen bases. I think we're good. And the fact that he can come off the bench at late in the games too is cool too.
Yeah. I was about to say that, like late in the game, you get to have an outfield with Brenton Doyle and Jake McCarthy in it. And I mean, Jordan Beck has upside out there too. Like he's fast too. Yeah. Like if you have those 3 guys out there, like the only reason a ball's getting in the gap is it's too good. Or like, someone runs a route wrong. And I don't think that's, going to happen a ton. You're going to have 3 of the fastest dudes in baseball running that outfield. Like, yeah, in the 8th and 9th innings, that's gonna save a couple of games.
And it covers Moniak, who's not very great out in right field. All right, you're coming off 7, 8, 9. You did your thing. We're gonna bring in McCarthy. It gives you a plan. Like we're creating these plans, just talking about it. Like I'm sure this is 12 layers deeper in the front office, which like what we're talking about is the very surface level of what they're actually talking about, and that's good. No idea like what was going on last year. This is just so refreshing. This is crazy. So Jake McCarthy, we like it. Did not give up a lot for it. Wouldn't be big to cut. He's a little bit better against left-hand pitchers. So again, I keep bringing up Moniak, but if you've been listening, you kind of know why. If Moniak doesn't improve against left-hand pitchers, McCarthy has a 680 OPS career against left-hand pitchers. Last year, again, wasn't very good against them in general, but there is that as well. So that's good. Keegan Thompson was added. He was picked up off the waiver wire. We'll do quick on him, and then we'll get into Anthony's person, the only reason he's here. Michael. So Keegan Thompson, it's going to be a spot starter, really long reliever, add some depth to it. Does he have the possibility of coming out of camp as a 5th starter? Like we're talking about adding rotation depth. We added Lorenzen. I think we got 4 solid guys now. Blaylock was DFA'd today, BT Dub, which is kind of a bummer. I think he'll get picked up. I think he has major league stuff. I just don't think it fits for Coors. But you're going Freeland, Doe, Lorenzen, and Feltner. I think those are your 4 for sure. 5, I think Keegan Thompson puts his name in there with McCade and who's the Indiana cat? Gordon. Yeah. Am I wrong in saying that? Or is he going to be more of a reliever, AAA starter, spot starter coming up thing?
It's tough because I think we can say with certainty they claimed him and weren't positive. Like they thought, hey, there's opportunities here to do a couple of different things. Frankly, he seems more like a multi-inning relief guy, like the typical long reliever dude. He was in AAA all of last season, wasn't particularly great in the big leagues in 2024. Cubs were maybe changing some things with him though, because he pitched like an average of 2 innings per game last year. So it seemed like they might have been dabbling with the idea of stretching him back out to start. That's something it's worth asking at some point. Like these front office dudes, like, hey, Keegan Thompson, obviously he's not like a piece of the future, but like what is the plan there? Does he touch the starting the mound in the first inning? I'll say no, I think he, again, is best suited for that role out of the bullpen. I don't think he has the command to get by. Career 11.3% walk rate in the big leagues, but he has a history of limiting runs, and I think that comes down to just he's got a deep arsenal and he's got nasty stuff. Just high spin on every pitch. Not sure we want that at Coors Field or how that's all going to play, but I think he's got that good long relief type, an upgrade over last year's main long relievers.
So it's a nice depth piece. We'll see what happens with him. I don't know if he'll make any starts, but I think, again, you're onto something, Luke. Is the front office onto something, adding different kind of pitches? I think last time we talked about the different kinds of fastballs. Like Chase Dolan has a great fastball, but is it being shaped to pitch at Coors? What about the other two fastballs he could throw in there? I think this is what's happening. They're looking at all of this data to see what we can do with it, right? So, it'll be interesting. Mikey's putting his name on it. Feltner, Gordon is the 5th starter out of camp for Mikey Westside. Yeah, it's a fun little exercise. The fact that we have 4 solid dudes, like, going into camp, it's 4. These are the 4 guys we're going with. And then there's a little bit of competition for the 6th piece. Even though Depo'd in his presser today, you can check it out on BlakeStreetBanter.com. Noah wrote it up. We're going to get posted tomorrow morning. I think he did say that they are looking to add a starting pitcher. They're also looking to add another first baseman to the mix before the end of the offseason. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Anthony, I appreciate that. It's fun. We're here. We're fans. We have no idea what we're talking about, but we like to think that we know what we're talking about, and we're just learning together. So we're learning along with you. Hopefully you can answer this question. Do you know what the 7th pitch is that he's working on? I don't know if you can drop that now. But today, Michael Lorenzen, let's get into the dump. Michael, in his presser today, said, I have 6 pitches. I'm working on a 7th, and you guys are going to have a fun time watching it. Again, we got Eli on that presser. That's going to be dropping tomorrow on BlakeStreetBanter.com. So I like Lorenzen. I like his vibe. He was in Detroit 3 years ago. Liked him with Detroit. I was kind of mad when they traded him to Philly, but it made sense at the time. I don't know. Like, just break it down on the surface level. What does Michael bring to the Colorado Rockies? Why is he a refreshing signing? Like, I don't know if anybody was mad that Michael Lorenzen was being added. Not that his numbers were great. Not that he's this ace of a caliber pitcher. No offense. But, like, nobody was mad that Michael Lorenzen was added. Why was that the feeling when that news came out?
I mean, to me, it's because maybe not like Chase Dollander is the flashiest arm that we've got. And then, depending on how you want to evaluate guys, he's the best pitcher we have. But when you're trying to think about just the raw execution, like, I think Lorenzen's the 2nd best guy that we have right now. Kyle Freeland is a dog. He's done it at altitude for his whole life, basically. But Michael Lorenzen, we've mentioned the 6 pitches he throws 7. So it's an 8th pitch that we're getting teased now. That's insane. And I'll say this, and Anthony might be able to kind of
7.
Back this and give a little bit more insight on this. Dude is a workout warrior. Like, he seems to be so in tune with just how the body works, and that's not something you see with a lot of athletes in general. Like, they understand their body because someone is helping them understand their body. He seems like someone who has really gone through the process to learn a lot himself, and clearly it works. He's jacked. He has created a whole second career for himself. Basically, started as a 2-way player, relief pitcher. Now is suddenly like an innings-eating starting pitcher who throws 7 pitches. That perspective to me is so valuable to a team like the Rockies that's got to figure things out. If he's not an MLB pitching coach in 10 years, within 10 years, I will be a little bit shocked. Maybe he has to pay his dues in the minors, be a minor league pitching coach, do assistant pitching coach.
Not do the Ottavino route.
Yeah, you got to pay your dues at some point. I think some of these guys in coaching. But Lorenzen seems like a perfect guy to eventually be in the coaching world, because he clearly has taught himself a lot of things and picked up a lot of things from other people. So I love bringing that into this club. A team that, I mean, just in the dugout, they've got to learn some things. He seems like a guy to do that. It's almost like adding, we added we had like 5 pitching coach type guys. He's almost like the next guy up in that mix. And I think he'll be able to impart a lot of wisdom to some of our younger pitchers.
Yeah, so you'll love this from the transcript that Eli sent. So in the presser today with Lorenzen, I'm reading what the AI turned into. So bear with me. Do I pick 3 of them? Do I lean on certain 3 more than the others when I'm pitching at in the altitude and stuff like that? So we'll see. But yeah, I would say, I got the 3 fastballs, and I have 2 different changeups. Now I got a sweeper, slider, and the curveball. Yeah, we'll see. The fact that he's already thinking about what might work at Coors and how he might have to adjust his pitching at Coors is great. And the fact that a front office has a whole new pitching coach staff to allow that to happen is great. This just gets me so excited about what Chase Dolander might do now. Like, we might see a different fastball that's going to work at Coors. That's not just going to go be ripped. So I don't know. All of this is just getting me excited. I need more, I guess, Rocky talks in my life. Like, Tyler, we can't do this every 2 weeks. We have to do this like every other day. I think. But like Michael Lorenzen, he brings 7 pitches. According to the data, he threw a 4-seamer, a sinker, a cutter last year. Then he has a changeup, curveball, slider, and a sweeper. So that might be some of the data with the 6 to 7 piece there. But I don't know. It's the fact that he has 3 different ones is good. I did all this research last time. I don't know. He still has that swing and miss stuff. 11% whiff rate last year, which is good in a down year. Change up 3%, 5% aren't getting barreled. Fastball and slider are though. But like, you have a change up and a cutter that you can lean on and not get hit around the ballpark. You have these pitches that you can, you know what? We're going to throw this today. Kind of like what he said in his presser. The data kind of proves that, I can throw this and it might not get whacked. So it's going to be good.
Yeah. And I mean, I love the changeup that he's got. Like, he really throws it with conviction. It looks like another, like he throws the 3 heaters. It's the same type of arm action coming with the changeup, but you're getting this heavy fade on the pitch. So 42% whiff rate on the changeup last year. That's for a changeup that's pretty, top of the line. Easy. You're not gonna see many changeups that are touching 50% on the whiff rate. So love that with Lorenzen. We all know at this point that's kind of the more reliable secondary to go with at Coors Field. Throw your changeup, bury it in the zone, because if you get that tunnel right, like it's not going to look like, you throw a slider, hitters are immediately thinking like, okay, this thing's probably breaking six inches under the zone. The changeup, you're not thinking that out of the hand unless you really clue in on it or there's some tip coming. But that changeup at Coors Field is really an offering that you've got to go to a lot. Keep guys off the fastball, because fastballs get hit anywhere, let alone Coors Field. So I love that the changeup is the best pitch in his bag, but can mess with you in a whole bunch of ways.
It's like a fun changeup too. Who's the guy that had the best changeup as a Rocky? It was just like pulling a string. I don't know.
There were some good ones back in the day.
But I love a good changeup. So and the other thing that got me excited about this is the amount of innings he's thrown the last 3 years. We're looking at, my computer's acting up. It's late for my computer too. We're looking at 153, 130, and 141. So we're getting 25 starts at minimum, 140 innings. Like, we're having a dog on the mound who's thinking his way through at bats and just can give you the best that you possibly can. I absolutely love what Anthony's sharing. Michael told me even before the Rockies reached out to him that he would love to play for the Rockies because the challenge of trying to figure out how to pitch successfully at Coors excites him. That excites me. Pass that on. Anthony, go ahead and just text that to Michael right now. That excites me. Like, that somebody wants to take this on. Like, everybody says, oh, it's the biggest challenge. If you can figure that out, that's great. But nobody ever wants to actually do it. Nobody actually wants to step up and figure it out. So the brain trust and all that. Josh, I need you to expand on this, big dog. The MLB Network Radio breakdown on Dolander was rather shocking. I would love to know more about that. If you can type it in the chat or send a link, whatever, that'd be cool. So I like Lorenzen. I don't think he's slotting in as our ace. He's not our savior. He's not the guy that's going to save the Colorado Rockies and be our Ranger Suarez, so to speak. Fuck the Red Sox. But he just adds a depth that, like, I can expect Michael Lorenzen to go out and give me 5 solid innings. Whether it's 70 pitches thrown or 95 pitches thrown, it feels very Kyle Freeland-esque type thing, and just the ability to go out and do what he's supposed to. The big strikeout rate last year in a down year, I mean, he was still striking out, where'd it go? 8 per 9, which is solid. And he had his lowest walk per 9 at 2.4 last year in his 10-year career. He's going to get one of those sweet little cards. It's going to be sick. You can just go any game he wants. Like, that might be the coolest thing baseball does, is for the 10-year service time. It's cool. And his left on base is around 74%, looking at 70% there a few times. So he's leaving guys on base as well. And if you have a decent outfield who can track it down, he does give out some fly balls, which is a little scary. I don't know. It just feels like we're building a team around somebody that is going to go do what he best he can possibly do. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
You know, I mean, I think he's a guy who gives you the chance to experiment properly. And I mean, he wants to be at the forefront of that experimentation, as Anthony kind of dropped for us. But he also, for the pitching coaches and for the front office, he's a guy that you also get to experiment with. There's a lot of different things that he can do, and you get to mess with different sequences and just different pitches and breakdowns. Because to what Mr. Josh said in the chat, what we got Josh talking about, I'm sure there's talks about Chase Dolander's arsenal, and that's a hot topic around the Rockies, is what are they going to do with his arsenal? And Michael Lorenzen is a guy who can help to figure out, like, hey, this is the type of arsenal that might succeed just a little bit more. Like, which fastball types are we going to lean on more at Coors Field? But more importantly with that, like, what are we going to pair those pitches with? Because I think you could use any of the fastball types, but it really, what makes it breaks it is how you're going to sequence it with what are you going to throw, your changeup, your slide, like how and there's so many little data points that go beyond that we're not even qualified to talk about. So he seems like the perfect guy to help master things like that. I don't think you could ask for a pitcher that fits we're taking steps forward for the Rockies. Like, we don't need Ranger Suarez because he has a very, very specified game plan, which is fastball, changeup, throw strikes. Michael Lorenzen's like, I'm going to give you a new game plan every single game, and gives you a lot to work with, a lot of things to try. Yeah,
and this is just working out really nicely. From the presser today, it kind of backs what you were just saying. He's talking about the challenges. Somebody asked about the challenges of Coors and all that, and kind of backs what Anthony said. But this is quote, and I just think there's a lot of good low-hanging fruit, to be honest. What if we make these adjustments? It'd be beneficial for the team. We'll see a lot of improvement. And for me to come in as a veteran and kind of be a bridge for the new staff to the young guys, I think it's huge to have. Like, he already understands his role. He has a connection with Daniels. Daniels and him worked at Driveline back in the mid-2000s about creating pitches and working together. And so he has that relationship with Daniels already. And so leaning into that, it's like, this is the kind of veteran presence I want. Like, we always hear the veteran presence, but we never know what that veteran presence means. And it literally, now it feels like, hey, we actually have a veteran presence that's going to bridge a gap, that's going to help pitchers better. And again, that's just adding to the love I'm just throwing out the front office today. Like, that's exciting on so many levels. I don't know. It's nice. I don't know. I'm excited just to see what happens. And let's get into the Josh thing from the low end from the MLB network. Again, thank you, Josh, for sharing this. Short answer, he was pitching lefties and righties backwards, using cutter on right-handers and two-seamers on left-handers. His curve has a low whiff rate despite being great. His hitters just at fastball. Basically, his pitch strategy was the dumbest thing you'd ever seen. Spilly interviewed Bernardino yesterday. He already pitched at altitude before in Mexico and isn't concerned at all. I think what you talked about, Doe, that's what we've been preaching. I think Tyler made a really good point a few pods ago about what was the downfall of Dollander in 2025, and it was the pitch sequencing, and just none of it made any sense. And we've talked a little bit about the fastballs that Doe has. It's a great fastball, but not at altitude. So adding that and shaping that a little bit better. So it's good that the other guys are seeing it too.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Lorenzen and Dollander are working together quite a bit because they have very different fastballs. Like Dollander is a guy who's really getting under the ball with his fastball. Doesn't quite have the vertical break to succeed up in the zone if he's not at sea. Like you need every little inch that you've got breaking up in the zone. And Dollander's not a guy getting a ton of that movement. Lorenzen, though, also is not a guy who's getting a lot of rise carry on his fastball. So I'll be curious to see how those guys are implementing the four seam. But, with Dollander, it really was just trying to win with velo, and that's not going to get it done. Lorenzen's a guy who's not winning with velo. He is enough. He's going to touch 95, 96 in game, but he's trying to learn how to win just as a pitcher. So that's something that I think could really help Dollander. And I think, there's a lot to dive in with his arsenal. But just getting to, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but having that kind of ball of clay that you can mold it every single day, every single start, and learn from that. That's super exciting for the Rockies instead of just same exact mold every single time, predictable. That seems like one of the cures to Coors Field is can you vary what you're doing and have multiple attack strategies that are altitude friendly? We just haven't really seen that a whole lot.
Yep. And it's so refreshing. Pitchers and catchers report around Valentine's Day. I don't know when the Rockies officially report, but I know the 9th and the 10th of February are when some teams are reporting. So we're literally less than 4 weeks away before baseball is starting, which is, thank God. I'm sick of college basketball. I know you're a college basketball guy. You love it. I can't. I was watching Northwestern versus Illinois last night. Like, this isn't fun. I'm going to bed. So I'm excited for baseball to be back. The Rockies have solidified their outfield. It's been official. We have our 4 outfielders, and the young guys are just going to have to figure it out. Our backstops are figured out. I think with Goodman and Braxton, there's no word about adding any catchers into the mix. We have 4 of our 5 starters figured out. I think our bullpen's figured out. It's the infield. I think the infield is kind of a question mark. I think you got Tovey. I think Tovar and Willi are the only ones that really have solidified their spot. And I think we can give a little bit of a nod to Karros. But there's still a few more pieces to be figured out starting pitching in the infield. So we'll see how these next few weeks go. Again, we are at 41 with the word of the street that Castro is bringing signed. We are at 41. There's a few DFA candidates that come to mind since EKB just for the dump in a different way. But Jeff Criswell as well, who is coming off TJ, who's on the 40-man, might be able to sneak back into our lives after being DFA'd. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anything else for the good of the cause? This was fun to get back on the mics.
I mean, yeah, Depot and Josh Burns are not messing around. We'll see how much of this works. We know in some capacity, though, it's going to make the Rockies a bit more watchable. Just, last year was brutal. So we feel so far from that already. And, more moves to come. Don't know what they are, but they're coming.
Yes, I love that. And, huge shout out to Dugan Darnell. He's back with the Tigers. He's on the MILB roster. That is our guy. We'll always be rooting for that guy. So go do great things, Dukes. And go Rocks, minor league affiliates. Woo!